children, and welcome to the lesson number 2 of chapter ratios. In this lesson, we are going to cover the topic equivalent ratios, or you can say that the ratios in its simplest form. So let's start learning with an example number 1. The ratio of the number of stalks of tulips to the number of stalks of roses is 3:6, which means that for every 3 tulips there are 6 roses. So similarly, the ratio of the number of buckets of tulips to the number of buckets of roses is 1:2, which means that it is equivalent. Like for every 3 tulips there are 6 roses, and for every 1 bucket of tulips there are 2 buckets of roses. So we can say that the ratio of the number of tulips to the number of roses is 3:6 or 1:2. They are equivalent ratios. We can see, you can observe that we have divided the 3 and 6 with the common factor, which is 3, and it results in 1:2. Or if you multiply 1 and 2 with 3, you get the same result, which is 3:6. So 1:2 is the ratio in its simplest form. Here we have further information about finding the ratios, because finding equivalent ratios is similar to finding equivalent fractions. We can multiply or divide to find equivalent ratios. Now moving forward to next example, we have Raju, who bought some fruits as shown in the picture. The ratio of the number of apples to the number of mangoes to the number of oranges is 4:8:12. Now Raju packed the fruits into the bags of 2. So the ratio of the number of bags of apples to the number of bags of mangoes to the number of bags of oranges is 2:4:6. Now Raju has changed his mind and decided to pack the fruits into bags of 4. Now the ratio of the number of bags of apples to the number of bags of mangoes to the number of bags of oranges is 1:2:3. If you look at the ratios from the beginning, we have first 4:8:12, which further get reduced in 2:4:6, and then into 1:2:3. We can directly reduce the ratios in the simplest form by dividing the ratios with the common factor, which in the case of 4, 8 and 12 is 4. So if we divide 4 by 4, we have 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 1:2:3 is the ratio in its simplest form. Now in example 3, we have to find the missing numbers. First we have 3:7, and we have to find the missing number to the ratio 14. Here if we look at it, we can easily observe that 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. So we have to multiply 3 by 2 in order to get the missing number. So when we multiply 3 by 2, we have 6 as in our answer. Similarly, in part B, we have 6:12:24, and it's equals to 2, and we have to find the missing number further. Here, if we observe, then we can easily come to the point that 2 comes out as a result of the division of 6 by 3. So we have to divide the other 2 ratios with the 3 as well. So if we divide 12 by 3, we have 4, and if we divide 24 by 3, we have 8. So we have a ratio 2:4:8 in its simplest form. In example 4, we have to express each ratio in its simplest form. So in part A, we have 6:24. So here we have to divide this ratio with a common factor, which is 6 here. So by dividing 6 with 6, we have 1, and by dividing 24 with 6, we have 4. Now in part B, we have 2 ratio 6:8, and here the common factor is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have 1:3:4 in its simplest form. Now in example 5, Sunil wants to use a ratio in its simplest form to compare the height of her mini whiteboard to the height of the whiteboard in class. Her mini whiteboard is of 20 centimeters and the whiteboard of the class is 1 meters in height. So first of all, we have to make sure that the entities which we are comparing should be in the same unit. So first we convert 1 meter into centimeters, and we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So the ratio of the height of our mini whiteboard to the height of the whiteboard in class is 20:100. Now in order to convert in its simplest form, we are going to divide this ratio by 20 because both the numbers are divisible by 20. So we have 1:5 as our result. Now there is an activity which you are going to perform by yourself, and we will move forward to the practice questions. Now let's start with the practice questions. In question number 1, we have stars and crescents. The ratio of the number of stars to the number of crescents is 6:10, and the ratio in its simplest form is 3:5 because we have divided 6 and 10 with a common factor which is 2 here, so we have 3:5 as a result. In question 2, we have the capacities of some container. So the bottle is of 2000 milliliter, tank is of 8 liter, and pail is 5000 milliliter. And we have to express certain ratios in a simplest form. So in part A, we have the ratio of the capacity of the tank to the capacity of the pail is 8:5. And why is it so? Because we have to make the unit same. So we have converted milliliters into liter, and we know that 1 liter is equivalent to 1000 milliliters. So 5000 milliliters is equivalent to 5 liters. So here we have a ratio which is equal to 8:5, and there is no common factor, so we can reduce it further. Now in part B, we have the ratio of the capacity of the bottle to the capacity of the tank is 1:4 because the capacity of the bottle is 2000 milliliter and the capacity of the tank is 8 liter. So first of all, we have converted 2000 milliliter into liters, which is 2. So earlier we have a ratio 2:8, and if we divide 2 and 8 with a common factor which is 2, then we have a ratio in its simplest form which is 1:8. Now in part C, we have the ratio of the capacity of the bottle and tank to the total capacity of the 3 containers is 10:15. Why? Because the capacity of bottle and tank is collectively 2000 ml, which is equals to 2 liters. So 2 plus 8 is 10, and the total capacity is 2 plus 8 plus 5, which is equals to 15. So first we have the ratio 10:15. Now here is the common factor which is 5. So we are going to divide these two ratios with 5. So we have 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we have a ratio 2:3 as our answer. Now in question number 3, we have to find out the missing numbers. So in part A, we have 2:5 is equals to the number ratio 10, and the number is 4 because we know that if we divide 10 by 5, it comes out as 2. So which means that 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. So we have to multiply 2 with the 2 as well. And 2 into 2 is 4. So 4:10 is our answer. Similarly, in part B, we have 9:12, which is equals to 3:4. Why? Because if we divide 9 by 3, then we have 3. So similarly, we are going to divide 12 by 3 as well. So we have 4. In part C, we have 10:8:12, and we have to find the missing number, and we have a ratio in the middle which is 4, and we know that 8 divided by 2 is equals to 4. So we have to divide the other entities with the 2 as well. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So as a result, we have 5 ratio 4 ratio 6. In part D, we have 3 ratio 12 ratio 18, and as a result, we have 1 ratio the missing numbers. So we know that if 3 is divided by 3, then we have 1. So we have to divide the other ratio numbers with the 3 as well. So 12 divided by 3 is 4 and 18 divided by 3 is 6. So we have 1 ratio 4 ratio 6 as our answer. Now we have a last question, which is question number 4, and in this question we have to express the ratios in its simplest form. In part A, we have 9 ratio 3, and we know that the common factor here is 3. So when we divide 9 by 3, we have 3, and 3 by 3 is 1. So 3:1 is the ratio in its simplest form for part A. Now moving to part B, we have 4 ratio 16. Again, here the common factor is 4. So we are going to divide 4 by 4, which is 1, and 16 by 4, which is 4. So 1 ratio 4 is our answer in its simplest form. For part C, we have 6 ratio 18 ratio 8. Here the common factor is 2. So we have to divide all the ratios with 2 because 6, 18, and 8 all are divisible by 2 but not with any other number. So we are going to divide this by 2. So we have 6 divided by 2 is 3, 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now in part D, we have 10 ratio 25 ratio 15, and if we look at this problem, we come to the conclusion that they all are divisible by 5. So by dividing this ratio with 5, we have 10 divided by 5 is 2, 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we have done with the practice questions as well. So this is our lesson and end of the lesson. So thank you for watching. Keep watching. Do like and subscribe my channel. Enjoy mathematics. Bye bye.